By late July, after 2 weeks of escalating attacks between the US and Iran, the situation reached a boiling point. The president made it official, announcing that the American military was locked and loaded for a major offensive. Yet the expected strikes never happened. For a second night in a row, the skies remained quiet, and even Iran's retaliatory fire came to a sudden, unexpected halt. The turning point was a closed-door meeting on July 24th. The president convened with his senior advisors and the top leadership at the Pentagon to finalize the engagement. During that briefing, military leaders presented a terrifying mathematical reality. They had identified a specific weakness in the U.S. defense grid, one that made a large-scale offensive strike a massive strategic gamble. This step back from the brink of conflict was a calculated response to a critical hardware shortage, a vulnerability so severe it threatened to turn a military operation into a far-reaching crisis. A July 25th report from the New York Times detailed the Pentagon's core concern: the certainty of an Iranian ballistic missile counterattack following any U.S. strike. The primary shield against that threat is the Patriot anti-missile interceptor. These systems are designed to track and destroy incoming missiles before they can reach their targets. This chart illustrates a critical inventory flaw. Frequent use in the region has already exhausted more than 1,200 of these specific interceptors. Each interceptor costs roughly $4 million, and as this chart shows, the defensive stockpile is rapidly approaching zero. Without a sufficient supply of Patriot missiles to defend against the inevitable retaliation, launching an offensive airstrike would leave American forces in the Middle East in a position of extreme tactical vulnerability. General Joseph Dunford, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, warned the War Room that the failure of this missile shield would extend far beyond American military bases. Key regional allies, including Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Bahrain, would be left completely exposed to Iranian airstrikes without the protection of American interceptors. If these regional defenses fail, the conflict would likely spill into the Strait of Hormuz, the most critical maritime choke point for the world's oil supply. Disruption in the strait would trigger immediate spikes in global oil prices, leading to widespread economic instability and the potential for a massive refugee crisis. The Pentagon's assessment linked the empty defensive inventory directly to a cascading global economic collapse. This situation highlights a difficult geopolitical reality. Offensive power is secondary if a nation cannot sustain the defensive war of attrition that follows. Consequently, the U.S. has pivoted its strategy, moving away from immediate airstrikes and toward a campaign of intense economic warfare. The current primary weapon is the tightening of severe international sanctions, designed to choke off Iran's oil sales and force a return to negotiations. This pivot creates significant friction with allies like Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. During his upcoming White House visit, he is expected to reiterate his demand for military pressure over diplomatic talks. However, the president has cautioned that the military option remains officially on the table if Iran targets the Strait or allied nations. A logistical bottleneck has placed the march to war on pause. The world now waits to see if diplomacy can take hold before the missile silos are restocked.